Nobody saw it ending like this. Not after the momentum he had built, not after the hype surrounding his recent performances, and definitely not after the way the race started. Because for a while, it looked like Cleetus McFarland might be headed toward the biggest breakthrough of his racing career. The speed was there, the confidence was there, the opportunity was there, and then, in one brutal moment, it all fell apart. Talladega delivered the kind of heartbreak only motorsports can create. Because at superspeedways, you can do almost everything right and still leave empty-handed. That is the cruel reality of racing at Talladega. It is fast, it is unpredictable, it is unforgiving. And for Cleetus McFarland, it turned what could have been a career-defining day into complete disaster. Coming into Talladega, the attention around Cleetus had never been higher. He was no longer just being watched because of his online following. That stage of the story was fading. Now people were paying attention because his racing was improving. Rapidly. Every start, every race, every lap, he looked more comfortable, more disciplined, more natural in traffic, more like a real developing stock car racer than a crossover experiment. That is why Talladega mattered so much. Because superspeedways reveal the truth about drivers very quickly. There is nowhere to hide in the draft, no way to fake racecraft, no easy way to survive if your instincts are not sharp enough. Talladega demands trust, timing, patience, aggression, and perhaps most importantly, control under pressure. That is what makes it one of the hardest tracks in America to master. And early in the race, Cleetus looked like he belonged. He was running confidently in the pack, holding position, working the draft, managing the chaos, doing everything a driver needs to do to stay in contention at a place where races can collapse instantly. Lap after lap, he looked composed. And with every clean restart, belief started growing. Maybe this could be the day. Maybe this could be the breakout. Maybe this could be the race where everything changed. Because if Cleetus could deliver a huge result at Talladega, it would not just be another good finish. It would be proof. Proof that his development is real. Proof that the hype is becoming justified. Proof that he belongs in serious NASCAR conversations moving forward. That is why the moment hurt so much when everything unraveled. Because Talladega does not ask for permission before taking a race away from you. It happens instantly. One bad push, one unstable car, one wrong move by someone else, and the day is over. That is the risk every driver accepts when they strap in there. And unfortunately for Cleetus, that risk found him. The race turned. Momentum disappeared. And what had looked like a potential breakthrough became disaster. In superspeedway racing, sometimes the wreck is your fault. Sometimes it is not. Sometimes it does not matter. Because when the pack collapses, everyone pays. That is the brutal truth of Talladega. It rewards perfection, then punishes innocence. And Cleetus learned that the hard way. The worst part, the heartbreak was not just in the result, it was in what the result represented. Because races like this do more than hurt your finishing position. They delay momentum. They interrupt development. They create doubt. They force a driver to mentally recover after seeing a huge opportunity disappear. That is especially difficult for someone still building their career. Veterans know how to compartmentalize those losses. Young or developing drivers often feel them deeper. Because every big opportunity matters more. Every near breakthrough matters more. Every lost chance feels heavier. That is what makes this Talladega disappointment so painful. Because Cleetus was not simply participating. He was competing. And when a driver goes from hoping for experience to believing they can truly contend, the losses hurt differently. You no longer measure success by survival. You measure it by missed opportunities. That is growth. Painful growth. But growth nonetheless. And while the final result may read like disappointment, the bigger picture tells a different story. Because despite the disaster, Talladega still revealed something important. Cleetus belonged in that race. He was not overwhelmed. He was not out of place. He was not merely hanging on. He was legitimately part of the fight. That matters. Because one bad ending does not erase the pace shown before it. One wreck does not erase the progress. One Talladega disaster does not erase the trajectory. If anything, moments like this often shape drivers more than victories do. Because racing careers are not built only on wins, they are built on response. How you recover, how you learn, how you bounce back after brutal setbacks. Every great driver has Talladega stories like this. Every superspeedway veteran knows the pain of seeing a perfect day vanish. The difference between future stars and forgotten names is often simple. Who comes back stronger? That is the real question now. Because disappointment alone means nothing. What matters is what happens next. Does Cleetus let the frustration linger? Does the heartbreak affect confidence? Does the wreck slow his momentum? Or does it fuel him? Does it sharpen the hunger? Does it make him more determined? That response may define his next stage of development. And if his recent growth is any indication, it may motivate him more than anything else. Because racers remember the ones that got away. They remember the near wins, the blown opportunities, the races that should have gone differently. Those moments stay with drivers, sometimes forever, and often they become the fuel for future breakthroughs. That is why this Talladega heartbreak may matter more than people realize. Because while fans see a disappointing result, drivers see something else. They see a painful lesson, a brutal but valuable experience, a reminder of what it takes to finish the job. Cleetus now knows what it feels like to be in position, to feel the race within reach, to watch it vanish. That kind of pain creates hunger, and hungry drivers become dangerous. The next time he gets into contention, he will remember this. The next time Talladega gives him another chance, he will remember this. The next time he smells opportunity late in a race, he will remember exactly how much it hurts to let one slip away. That memory can break a driver, or build one. And based on everything we have seen so far, it may build him. Because nothing about Cleetus McFarland's path through racing has been normal. He has faced skepticism from day one. Questions about legitimacy. Questions about whether the opportunities were earned. Questions about whether popularity mattered more than pace. Every race has felt like an audition. Every performance has been scrutinized. Every mistake magnified. That pressure alone would crush many developing drivers. But instead, he keeps improving, keeps learning, keeps showing up, keeps proving the progress is real. That is why this heartbreak matters. Not because he failed, but because disappointment now exists only because expectations have changed. A year ago, nobody would call a bad Talladega finish heartbreak because nobody expected him to contend. Now, people do. That says everything. It means the standard has changed. It means the belief has grown. It means his racing career is being judged by a new benchmark. Contending, competing, threatening for major results. That is the real story beneath the disappointment. Cleetus McFarland has reached the point where anything less than contention now feels like underachievement. That is a huge shift, and it is one very few crossover racers ever achieve. So yes, Talladega ended in disaster. Yes, the heartbreak was real. Yes, the opportunity was lost. But no, this was not failure. This was progress wearing the mask of disappointment. Because sometimes in racing, the most painful days are also the most important. The days where you lose something valuable, but gain something bigger. Perspective, experience, urgency, motivation, and perhaps most importantly, proof that you are close. Close enough for heartbreak, close enough for frustration, close enough for the loss to hurt. Because drivers only hurt this badly when they know they had a real shot. And Cleetus clearly did. That is why Talladega matters. Not because of where it ended, but because of what it showed before everything went wrong. It showed speed, composure, racecraft, potential, and the growing signs of a driver becoming more dangerous with every start. Talladega may have ended in heartbreak, but heartbreak is often the final step before breakthrough. And if that is true, then this disaster may someday be remembered very differently. Not as the race that broke Cleetus McFarland, but as the race that built him.